I'm sitting here at the post office in Westchester. It's cold, y'all. What's going on? And today's topic, we're gonna talk about labeling. Labeling part 1. Let's get it. Alright, so today we're talking about labeling. And somebody sent me this topic because I was having a conversation with someone and they sent me this because they were having issues with their kid in school, and the kid's only in elementary school, but she was like, they're already labeling him as a troubled child and bad and this and that, and it's like, wow. When I was in elementary school, my early education, and even into, beginning of middle school, I was labeled, and I knew a lot of people were labeled. Some of my brothers, some of my sisters were labeled too, and some of my friends. So I wanted to address that, and I just want to say, first and foremost, people, adults, parents, friends, aunts, uncles, caregivers, whoever, when you label a kid, that, I don't want to curse, but that thing sticks to them forever. I can never forget some of the things that were said about me, some of the things I overheard people saying as I was growing up as a kid. And if I didn't have the support that I had, and of course God's grace and mercy, and just the people in my corner to push me to do better for myself, and then myself wanting to do better and prove everyone wrong, who knows where I'd be? Who knows what I'd be? So at the end of the day, stop labeling these kids. I don't care how much more work they make you have to do in school as educators. I don't care how bad or whatever, like undisciplined they seem. Stop labeling these kids. I wish I can, and not to be, I'm not promoting violence, but being a product of being labeled, I wish I can smack everybody that labeled a kid or says something bad about a kid. Because at the end of the day, you guys don't know. You guys don't know what that kid is going through. And that doesn't justify whether it's right or wrong, but you can't put a label on a kid for having a bad day when his mom whipped his ass all night last night because she was mad if his father didn't come home. That's not his fault. You can't put a label on a kid because the girl's acting out because every time somebody tries to get close to her, it reminds her uncle who's molested her or whatever have you. You can't label that. Like, real talk, let's get serious right now. Because at the end of the day, that's what we do. We go off our prejudgments, we go on our pre-assumptions. Oh, he's bad. Oh, he's like this. I heard that all my life. All my life. No thanks to my dad, but still, I heard that all my life. I take labeling real serious. I was a little irritated, earlier. My bad. Please forgive me. But I was labeled. Not gonna make it past 3rd grade. Hard-headed, bad. Gonna end up like his father, if not worse. Womanizer, alcoholic. You name it. That's what I was called. ADHD. He's too hyper. He's too active. He don't know how to settle down. And I'm saying that stuff now, and now it's like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Just typical kid. Back then, because people didn't know how to handle it. People, in my instance, educators and family members and non-family members didn't know how to handle me. And not that I was bad. I was devious. I did some bad stuff. We all did. Like, let's be real. We all did. But attention. It was all for attention. Attention to be the center of attention. What human being doesn't want to be the center of attention? Women want to be the center of attention in their man's life. A man want to be the center of attention in his woman's life. I'm saying a kid wants to be the center of attention in their sports team's life. In the sports teams, also within their parents' life. So you tell me what was so wrong about me wanting to be the center of attention when that's all everybody nowadays want to be anyway. Isn't that why we on social media, showing our food, showing the money we got, showing the new kicks we got, showing the new jersey, the new outfit, the new fit, the new dance move, whatever. It's all for attention. Whether you call it, no, just doing it for fun, whatever, it's for attention. That's why you post it. That's why you subscribe to it. That's why you watch it. That's why YouTube is huge right now. Because everybody's on there getting attention, wanting recognition, wanting to be seen. It's all, if you narrow it down, guys, when you go to the basics to the basics to the basic, strip it to its lowest form, it's all for attention. That's it. So back to labeling. I was labeled. My sister was labeled. My brother was labeled. My son was labeled. Isaiah was labeled. Thank God for an educator that recognized what it was early in kindergarten, Miss Grant. Thank God. She was a blessing. And she simply, what would you suggest? We're young parents, Zaya's mom and I, but we're young parents, not really knowing what we're doing. And, the kid was in school. Typically they're home with us and we're hanging out now they're in kindergarten. So now we got to figure out what to do because now he has to react with kids, with other people, other human beings. So we asked Ms. Grant, what would you recommend? She said the simplest thing and I was shocked that I didn't think of it. She was like, get him in a sport. What? And we asked, why a sport? Discipline, focus. You're the center of the attention on your team. You're part of something. And the human instinct, the natural human instinct is to want to be a part of something, be the center of something, to belong. It made perfect sense. Okay, so put that in the parking lot real quick. Put that in the parking lot. I'll take my buddy Tommy. Tommy was... He was very loud. He was very, at times, he would act more girly-ish. And then at times he would act, like a regular boy. He was a boy. He was a boy. And that made a lot of teachers nervous in school. And they claimed they didn't know how to handle him. Like, I would sit back and listen. Mind you, this is fourth grade. So these adults are talking. These parents are talking. We're in the next room. We hear them. Like, and I want to get that. I want that to be understood. Educators, parents, friends, aunts, uncles, whoever, caregivers, care providers. Watch what you say. Watch what you say about a kid, to a kid, around a kid, not around a kid. Watch what you say, because I can bet you almost anything. They're listening. They're listening. And the first thing I thought, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna tell you about my experience. The first thing I thought once I heard he's bad, he doesn't listen, he's hard-headed, he's gonna be just like his father. I thought I had to live up to that. I didn't know no better at 5, 6, 7 years old. I didn't know any better until I got older and started to understand that my life was mine. I had a choice. I can be a smoker, I can not smoke. I can be a drinker, I can not drink. I can be a womanizer, I can not be a womanizer. I can have 50 girlfriends, I can just be solo. It took for me to have to grow up, but kids, they're just that. They're sponges, they're absorbing nothing, and at the end of the day, they want nothing more than to please you, adults. Mom, dad, uncle, aunt, caregiver, care provider, educator, they want nothing more than to please you. So if you tell a kid he bad, and that's all you tell him, that's all he gonna think he can do. So stop doing that. Cut it out. Because you're cutting his confidence and self-esteem before it even starts. Ask me how I know. Let me tell you guys something from personal experience. The hardest thing to do as a kid, as a youth, as a child, is the worst thing as a kid and as a child that was already labeled and everybody's already has their expectations planned out for you, especially in a negative context, it's hard because you almost feel like you can't do right anyway. I'm going through a current situation with one of my children, was, and my child said to me, "Well, Dad, I feel like I can't do nothing right anyway." And it wasn't the fact they said they couldn't do nothing right. It was the anyway at the end of it. And the anyway threw me off and bothered my spirit, because that's to me saying, even if I try to do good, I still get in trouble. If I do bad, I'm already going to do bad. I'm already in that individual's or that adult's eye going to do bad. So might as well just do bad. That's what the anyways meant to me. And that hurt. Especially not just because it was one of my children, but to know that they felt like this. Like, what? Where'd that come from? And adults, we don't think about that. We don't think that our words have backlash. Yeah, we get upset. Yeah, kids do things that piss us off or make us angry. But so did we. But keep in mind, your words have meaning. Your words hurt. Your words burn. Your words cut. They really, really do. And that's something that we really, really have to take into consideration. Because this generation, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to admit it. Guys, girls, they're sensitive. You can't say nothing to them without them feeling some type of way. You can't say nothing to them without them catching an attitude, or he talking bad about me, or he don't like me. And all you had to say was, hey, don't do that. And they start to feel some type of way. So you got to be mindful of the generation of the times. These kids are super sensitive. They already feel like they're entitled to a whole bunch of other stuff, but you can't tell them they're wrong. You can't tell them you can't tell them not to do something. They know it all. They know it all. We acted like we did when we got older. I'm speaking to me and my generations, the 80s and 90s. We did too. We went through phases and spurts, but I just don't remember walking around acting like I knew everything. And I feel like with my kids now, they swear that, yeah, Dad, I know. You don't know. You don't have a clue. You don't have a clue. You haven't lived long enough to know. But wheeling that back in, bringing it back into what we're talking about, they don't know. And they don't know, so they swear they do. And therefore, they're super sensitive. So anything you say can set them off. Now, am I saying tiptoe and walk on eggshells for them and their feelings? If that's the type of parenting style you have, cool. If not, cool. You have to do whatever works for you. Keep in mind, every kid is different. I was hard at it. So it took me 2 or 3 or 4 times and a couple of butt cuttings to get it. But I get it now. 30 plus years old later, I get it. These kids are super sensitive, so you can't talk to them harsh. You can't do that. You gotta sit them down. Hey, let's go get some ice cream. Hey, you know what? You may have to compliment them and build them up. You may have to, soften the blow before you lay it. Every kid is different. Every generation is different. This generation is super sensitive, and us labeling them already extremely messes up their confidence, and that's not what we want. We're supposed to encourage them. We're supposed to pick them up, make them feel special, and when they don't, give them an ear to talk into or shoulder to cry on. As the adults, as the generation before them, as the role models, as the educators. We're not doing that. And that's a problem. That's a problem, and that's the problem. Labeling. We gotta stop labeling these kids. We gotta stop, y'all. I didn't like it. I know my son didn't like it. I know there's other kids out there that can relate. I know there's parents out there that can relate. Hit me up in the comments. Let's chit chat about this again. Labeling. This is labeling part 1. We will be bringing labeling part 2 up in this because it's real. It's real, y'all. And at the end of the day, if we don't look after our kids, if we don't take care of our kids, who will? When they don't do well, when they say, oh, my mom, my dad didn't listen, my mom, my dad didn't give me the options, can you really be mad at them if you didn't give them 110% effort? I don't think you can. So stop labeling your kids. Stop labeling other kids. Let's get back to being a community and doing what we're supposed to do. They're our future. What are you doing to help them? Peace, y'all.